mothers so often get such a bad rap.
Oh, in entertainment.
Yeah. Oh, in life as well.
Well, yeah, for sure.
But can we change that?
I think that's tough, because I think you got a good mother and then you got no drama.
Kia ora, hello, and welcome to this episode of Play Notes Podcast. I'm your host, Emily Duncan.
And I'm also your host, Alison Horsley.
And we're both dramaturgs, meaning we read a lot of plays.
We've likely read the plays you feel you should have, but didn't.
And that's where Play Notes comes in. And today, we are talking about the original bad mother in Western drama, Mamma Mia, Medea. Medea. Did you say Medea? Medea.
I say Medea.
Me too.
But, okay.
Yeah, that's okay. I must have just had my brain just started wandering off into other pronunciations. But
That's okay.
Medea. Yeah, I was just complicating it. So, the last two episodes, we've been talking about Greek tragedy as well.
Yes.
And the two plays we talked about were Oedipus and Antigone. And they were by a guy called Sophocles.
Yes.
But this version of Medea, because remember the audience knew the story.
Yes.
This version was written by Euripides. But he wasn't so crash hot successful in his lifetime, was he?
No, interestingly, he was a little controversial. And that's believed to be because he wrote a lot more about women. He wrote a bit more socially conscious stuff. He had slaves in his plays who were smart. Like, he was a little edgier in a way.
And this is sort of the context we're going to be looking at today, is that some people suspected he displeased the gods because of how he presented them.
Yeah.
And the character Medea, she is descended from the gods.
Yes, she is.
And she does not behave well.
She behaves very badly, but then she gets off totally okay in the end of the play.
Yeah, we're going to get to that, how she gets off, because she really gets off. She gets off. Okay.
Emily Duncan!
No. Okay, it's a technicality thing. Okay.
That's very true.
All right. So we were going to start off talking a little bit about how the ancient Greeks viewed their gods.
Yeah.
And it was not like, I'm saying us, meaning us two sitting here, who, grew up sort of like monotheistic cultures. There's one all-knowing God who were expected to be respectful towards. Gods were viewed differently in a sense, they were more flawed and fickle. Yeah,
they had very human characteristics, and often they represented kind of the personification of these basic characteristics.
The frailties of human beings.
Yeah, so a lot of the gods, particularly the male gods, were quite randy. So they would go down and impregnate various humans, and so you have a lot of demigods as well.
A lot of angry women as well.
A lot of very angry women. A lot of people who go to the afterlife. A lot of gods sending other gods to the afterlife, and all that kind of thing.
In episode 2, where we talked about Antigone, we talked about the environment or setting in which these plays were presented, which was part of the city Dionysia. Big celebration in the city that went over months. Part of it was a play competition, and it was in honour of the god Dionysus, who I think of as the good time god.
He's the good time guy. He's like the wine guy. He's the
party guy.
Party guy, messy, fertility, blood, dirt, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And interestingly, one notable thing about Medea is it didn't win the festival. It came in third, which was last.
Yeah.
And yet we're still talking about it today.
The character of Medea, I said, she was descended from the gods. She's royalty. She was a princess. But also she is a foreigner in the context of the setting of the story of the play.
Yeah, so the play takes place in Corinth, in Greece. But Medea is actually from Hulchish.
Okay.
I looked it up and now I've butchered the name, but it's essentially Georgia.
Yeah,
roughly,
so the modern day
where
shores of
Georgia-
the Black Sea, right?
Yeah, Black Sea, where modern day Georgia is. So she's ethnically also different from the Greeks, and so when we enter into the play, she already enters in as an outsider, and she and Jason have come from.
He's an outsider from another outside.
Yeah. So he had gone in search of the Golden Fleece, which...
So he's that Jason of Jason and the Argonauts.
Yeah, so he sought the Golden Fleece. She helped him get it using her magic. She left her homeland.
She had to. Like, she caused real havoc.
Oh, yeah. She really screwed over
fell for
her
each other.
people, basically. Yeah, so they fell for each other. They go to his homeland. She kind of tricks over some of his family by promising that she's going to do a spell, and she kind of screws them over a little bit. So then they both and their kids get exiled to Corinth.
So they're really dependent on the kindness of strangers.
Just like Blanche Dubois.
Yeah.
Yes. So they're in Corinth.
Yes.
And the play starts where we've got these... two employees of the household talking to each other. So it's like the progenitor or the ancestor, as it were, of the 19th century butler-maid scene.
Who give us the exposition, the backstory.
Yeah, it's like, what's going on with the master?
Yeah.
So we get that at the top of Medea. And Emily Duncan, what do we find out?
We find out that despite all that Jason and Medea have been through together... that he's now looking elsewhere, and he's actually betrothed to the daughter of the king, who is called, because you can't be confused enough, Creon.
That's
but he's
right.
Not the same Creon as in Antigone and Oedipus, which was set in Thebes.
Yeah, this is Creon of Corinth.
Yeah, different Creon.
Entirely different Creon altogether.
Still a king.
Still a king. Still problematic.
Yes.
Still, well, and this time he has a daughter named Glauce.
Yeah.
Or Glauce, but I think she's Glauce.
And as always, there's a chorus in this play as well.
Yes.
There's another point of difference.
Yeah.
The chorus is a chorus of women.
Right, of men playing women.
Yes, because everyone was played by men.
Yes. So it's a chorus of quote-unquote women who are in the play.
Yes.
And... so we learn about Medea and Jason's situation. We've got a chorus of women. Creon banishes Medea and her kids because he's worried about what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because she's obviously upset that Jason is now betrothed to Glauce, to Creon's daughter.
It'd be fair to say that Medea is a belligerent individual.
Yes, I think that's very fair to say.
She's kind of witchy as well. You know?
She's super witchy. She got the mad skills in terms of casting spells. She understands about potions. And she's also got that affiliation with Helios. So she got some fire as well, like literally. So we'll get into that as too.
Because we haven't built up to what she ultimately does.
Right.
As some people know. But before she gets to that point, and this is why the play it's sometimes hailed as one of the earliest examinations of the psychology of a murderer.
Yes.
Because we get to see her plotted out.
Oh, yeah.
Is it the king of Athens comes in?
Aegeus.
Aegeus
Comes
in. And it just so happens he and his wife are wanting to have kids, can't have kids. And she says, essentially, I'll do a nice potion to help you have kids so long as you take me.
Yeah.
Look after me when I'm exiled.
Yeah, so Medea starts plotting Jason's death. Well, actually not his death, but she starts plotting revenge on Jason. And Aegeus just shows up and she's like, yep, I'll help you bear kids. I'll whip up a drug for you. You just have to promise that when I come seeking asylum that you will take me, basically. And Aegeus is like, yep, totally. I'll totally take you.
And so her first step in revenge, and it's a revenge on Creon as well.
Yeah.
Is she prepares a gift.
Yes.
For her sons to present to her husband, ex-to-be, to his new wife.
Bride-to-be.
Bride-to-be.
Yeah, as a kind of peace offering. laced with horrible, horrible things.
And it's a crown.
It's a crown, it's a diadem, and a dress.
Dress. Just the sort of thing a new bride would love.
Right, exactly. And so she sends her kids with this gift to give to the bride to be. And that gift is poisoned. It's like poisoned and damned, and there's a lot going on with it. So it brings about pretty much it brings about her like melting and catching on fire at the same time.
And her father Creon runs to her rescue.
Right. And then he kind of melts into the dress as well, and also is lit.
Dies as well.
And it's a giant mess, and it's a super, super painful death.
And we should remind people at this point that while Greek drama was very violent, all the violence happened off stage.
Yeah, so this is all relayed to us by a messenger who's explaining it.
Yeah.
So nobody actually sees this on stage. But yeah, a messenger comes to reveal that. And I should mention, there is a wonderful scene between Medea and Jason before she sends this gift over, where it is a classic angry now ex-partner fight, basically, where he's like, you got so much more from me than I got from you, and she's like, but I killed people and, with my sorcery to help you get the fleece, and he's like, I don't care, and yeah, this whole...
He's frankly racist.
Well, he's racist, but also has some selective memory, and so Medea's angry that he isn't honoring their past. He feels like he's engaged to this new woman to benefit the whole family.
I know. I mean, the logic just does not follow through with that.
Yeah. So Medea has plotted this entire thing. So she kills / melts Glauce and her father Creon. And Jason learns about this, obviously, and discovers the mess. Comes back to where Medea is, only to find that Medea has killed her children that she shared with Jason.
Yes.
And we've heard them screaming from off stage. So that happens. She has killed the children, and she is flying off in a dragon-pulled chariot.
Now, last episode, we talked a bit about the staging. We talked about the theatron, which our modern day, where theatre comes from, the seeing place. That's where the audience sat, 14,000 of them. The orchestra at the front, where the chorus would perform. The scene, or the backdrop, where the word scene comes from. There's the proscene, where the term proscenium or proscenium arch comes from. But we didn't get to the real kicker spectacle piece, which is what, Alison Horsley?
The Deus Ex Machina.
Explain that.
So that is a device known as a god from a machine. And so back in actual ancient Greek times, it referred to a crane-like instrument that they would use particularly to lower down gods into a scene because, polytheistic gods. So they lower the gods into a scene. At the end of Medea, the Deus Ex Machina is used to pretty much raise her out in this dragon fire chariot of sorts. And of course, Deus Ex Machina now...
With the boys' bodies?
With the dead boys, with the dead kids.
So Jason doesn't even get to bury his kids.
No, and he asks actually to touch them, and she's like, nah. Me and the dragons are out of here. Yeah.
You had your chance.
Yeah, exactly. So they gone.
Yeah.
So nowadays the Deus Ex Machina is known as a literary device of kind of having something wondrous or magical or like a non sequitur occur in a play to get you out of a sticky situation.
Yeah, and it could be quite contentious because it could seem like an easy out for, a theatre director
for a
or
playwright. Miss Emily Duncan.
How are we going to fix this? We'll just whip them.
Yeah, we'll have a god come in and be like, I'm going to fix this. And just, like...
It would have been amazing spectacle.
Oh, so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as a result, she escapes punishment.
Yeah.
Because Medea flies off in her dragon chariot with the dead kids, and doesn't have to face human or godlike punishment because she's presumably going to live in Athens under Aegeus's protection. And I think that she's been protected somewhat by...
He regretted that promise.
Oh my gosh, right? Like, how much does he want those kids? Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. So, but she's also being protected by the gods, as is evidenced by the fact that she gets out of there in the Deus Ex Machina. So she does not get... she doesn't get the cosmic smackdown in Medea that a lot of more traditional conservative folks might wish that she did.
And this is potentially one of the reasons that Euripides lost the competition.
That's right.
Did not go down well. Now, Medea is obviously a very controversial, not easily likable character.
She's vengeful.
However, she's a part that many actresses would give their right arm to be able to play.
Oh yeah, because she doesn't accord to society's norms at the time. So you look at another character in the play, the other woman in the play is Glauce, basically. I mean, you've got the nurse as well, who you meet in the beginning of the play, but the other woman is Glauce, who's like, woohoo, marriage, woohoo, dress. You know, and she's not a particularly deep character, whereas you have somebody like Medea who's speaking out and saying, look, this marriage has failed me, I'm older now, you're going to a younger model, I've borne these kids. So she does everything that I think women, according to societal norms, are not supposed to do. She tries to hold on to Jason, or she wants to hold on to Jason. So that's kind of the only thing that she does that, like, is a fairly storybook thing.
Like Antigone, there's some questions around whether she fulfills the conventions of what's expected of a Greek tragic hero.
Right. Yeah, which would have really made people mad. You know, again, talking about why Euripides didn't win this competition, that would have made people really mad.
So to recap, you know, the Greek tragic hero is someone who has to have a big fall.
They're a high status person.
She literally flies out of there.
Right, yeah, she does the reverse of a fall. Mm-hmm. And she's somebody who starts out, I mean, she's got a level of power, but certainly in this play, it's Creon again, who's the most quote-unquote powerful person. And then otherwise it's Jason who loses the most in the course of the play. I mean,
he has the recognition and the reversal.
Yeah, he has the recognition of the change of his circumstances and of the reversal of fortune, where he basically loses his father-in-law and his bride-to-be. He may not have any claim on leadership in this new country, because this isn't his country. He was marrying into the family. But now without that family, he may just have nothing.
What he thought was his logic was truly flawed.
Yeah, and now he doesn't even have any progeny because Medea flew off in a dragon chariot with his kid. I just can't get enough of saying dragon chariot, because really, who can? But yeah, so those, and it seems like those things of the reversal and recognition have almost happened for Medea before the play has started. So that's why she's almost not like a normal tragic character. In those ways, yeah, that happens more to Jason in this play at least.
Medea's been adapted many, many times and ways over the years, and which is a clear reason why the work still has such resonance.
Oh, now. Absolutely. Yeah, and it's something that I think speaks to people, is this idea of revenge of a woman. I mean, it's
woman scorned.
Of a woman scorned, yeah, and who's willing to destroy, you know, so much. She's willing to destroy everything to get back at this guy, because her honor, in some ways, she's a bit like Antigone. Like, she's guarding her honor so fiercely that she's willing to sacrifice herself for it. But actually not, because she doesn't sacrifice herself. She sacrifices her kids, which is quite problematic. Oof, right? So whereas at least Antigone goes down with the ship, so to speak, Medea goes up with the dragon chariot.
And as always, we finish on our favourite parts of the play, which is it's hard with this one. But I thought about, with my playwright's hat on, something I really like is that we hear a lot about Medea before we see her. Now, this might seem an odd thing to like, but this can be quite a tricky thing to pull off convincingly or effectively, because the character has to live up to their reputation.
Yeah, otherwise it's so disappointing.
Yeah, and she absolutely lives up to her reputation and then some.
Yes, she does.
Alison, your favourite?
I guess related to what I was saying earlier about her willingness to just destroy everything, I love that she has this one line where she says, "Let the whole house crash," where she's just gonna take it all down and then fly out of there in a dragon chariot.